Ooh. All righty. Thank you so much for joining me today on my Empowered Mama segment. So I would like to introduce everyone to my dear friend Scarlett. We go way back. We have a lot of history together. And I wanted to invite her here today to talk about her beautiful gift that she has. And of course, she's a mama as well. She goes by Intuited by Scarlett. She is a mom of two. She's an intuitive energy healer. And most importantly, she's a mom. So we're here today. Thank you so much, Scarlett, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on your podcast.
Yay. I know I'm very excited myself. Actually, I had recorded a podcast a couple of weeks ago and I spoke about keeping your hope alive. And I spoke about our call that we had, my energy healing call, and how I was kind of like feeling down and looking for signs, especially from my lost loved one, my dad. And you like reaffirmed me and also reaffirmed these type of things, like staying, keeping my head up and doing the things that I love. And it was such an awesome call that, I always look forward to doing energy healing with you. And I feel like a lot of moms can definitely benefit from that as well.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. I feel like obviously the session and the messages are so important and valuable, but I feel like even just like setting an hour aside for yourself, as a mom is like so significant that I feel like in just committing to that part to your healing is like what makes it so special and so like healing is that you're saying to you and the universe, like, I matter and this is like, I need to take care of myself first.
Yeah, I walked away from it feeling like I was like walking on clouds after.
That's great.
But I
Not
feel
everyone feels that way after a session. So
I know, not always, but I feel like I've reached out to you in the past for
yeah.
other things, and like you've helped me get to this point where I am
Yeah.
today.
Sometimes
So
after a session, there's all these like things that resurface for people.
yeah,
So you could go like either way. You could feel like really great, really energized, or you could feel like, oh my God, like so much came up and then, people will digest, process, and then release a lot of things. So everyone's process will look differently. But eventually it always goes to the place of peace. So it's always
yeah.
so cool hearing, how everyone feels afterwards.
That's like motherhood though, right? Like it's like everyone's journey is different. So it's the same when it
Yeah.
comes to your energy and your healing and everything.
Yeah.
So I know that you are a mom to two beautiful little girls. So my question for you is, how do you balance it all with two kids? You're a wife, you're a mom, you have your own business. How do you balance it all? Like how do you prepare yourself to be able to kind of, handle everything?
I don't. I'm just kidding. I mean, like, if we're being real, I don't.
Yeah. I feel
No,
that.
I think just being very flexible with myself. And I know for my own business, like, I can't speak for anyone else. I know that there's a flow to it and I trust that flow. So when I am like really busy, like with clients, I like throw myself in, but I also will be okay with having a messy house and being backed up on laundry and like getting takeout. And then I know once like my business slows down, then I'm like, I baked cookies and I made a three-part like meal and we're gonna go to the park today. And
Yeah.
I've learned to embrace like both sides of it. Whereas in the past, maybe I'd be like, oh my God, no one like wants a reading. I suck and I'm terrible. And then it would like send me to a spiral or oh my God, I'm so busy and I'm sucking as a mom and I'm failing. So I've learned to like embrace both sides of it and know that like if I'm really busy, that's great for me and myself as a like a woman and a business owner. But if I'm slow at work, it's great for my kids because they get extra me and my husband gets extra me and I have more energy for me as a person. So I think for me personally, that has been probably like the biggest like lesson and way to find balance within my work.
Compromise,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And acceptance.
That's hard. That was very hard for me as well, just finding that balance of it all because you're trying to encompass so much and be good at everything. And when you
Yeah.
fall at short at one thing, it's like you said, it's like a domino effect to kind of just like spiraling. So that's great advice.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
How
really
has
like,
your, oh, sorry.
no, sorry. You go.
Um, how has your motherhood encouraged you to take this specific path? Because I know looking back at our relationship, because we were very young when we became friends and we were coworkers, and our relationship grew from there. And I feel like you've always been spiritual, and I feel like I've been able to open up to you as well, and like feel comfortable in talking to you. And not so much working with you, but no, I'm kidding. No, that was like the best part. But I know that you've always had that spiritual side of you. Um, so now when you became a mom, how did you like embrace it? Because I feel like that's when I started seeing you be more open to your gifts and actually like following through with your purpose.
So right before I had Willow, I decided to quit that job that we worked at, and I was like, I'm gonna put my all into this, and it wasn't really like working out in a way that felt aligned with me. And then I got pregnant, and then I got depressed, and then I was like, oh, but I want like time to like put into my
Yeah.
business. Like I felt so like sad, and like I felt like I had to grieve that. And then I really like stepped into motherhood, and then through it I was like, oh, I also need space for me.
Mhm.
And like because this is my passion, and it like my spirituality is a part of who I am, and like I love helping people, I love holding that space for people, it's really my passion. I felt like, okay, like I'm a mom, but I also, it's really important for me as a person to also really, I know it sounds corny, but really step into my life's purpose and create that space for myself, and allow like Scarlett as a human to live, not just like the role of mom. So becoming a mom and kind of losing myself into it and like being like, who am I? What am I? I'm this role. Um,
Yeah.
really pushed me to like be like, okay, I need to create space for me because I can't just be someone's mom forever. I mean, I am, will be her mom forever, but not not let that just be my identity. Like I really need
Yeah.
to also create space for me to like live my purpose and do what I love, because that's just as important. It makes me a better mom, I think.
Yeah. I definitely, I feel like I feel that wholeheartedly, because I know that going through like postpartum anxiety and depression, it's hard. And I know a lot of moms go through it, of rediscovering that person, kind of like you said, grieving your past of who you were, because as you grow older, you're never that person anymore anyway. And I think that like with
Yeah.
motherhood, it adds that extra layer. And I feel like it's so easy to get lost in it because people have such high expectations of mothers to be like this like perfect person, and it's just kind of like, but what about me? Like I kind of want to, I want to do these things too. So that's great that you're able to like kind of come back to that and find it, because I'm sure that, and I see your Instagram post with Willow being like very into it, like she loves the crystals, she's like
Mhm.
always using your sound bowl, like that's really cute.
Yeah, yeah, she like she loves it too, and she's definitely very intuitive. And I think too, part of like being a mom is also like has made me do a lot of healing work, like inner child healing, and changing the way that I parent, like how my mom did it. I didn't it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
And it forced me to like do my own
Yeah.
healing work. And in doing my own healing work, I was like, oh, I need to also like have these tools, like offer the support, because when I got pregnant, like Instagram and TikTok and like I feel like they were there, but they weren't like as like popular. So I didn't really have a community, and I didn't know what gentle parenting was, and I didn't know what all these things were. So I had to like really go to therapy and read and like really do the work. So in like in doing that, I was like, oh wow, there's this whole like world of healing for moms, and like for like to for parenting that like exists, and so I felt like in also doing my sessions, there is a lot of inner child healing that happens. So
Mhm.
I wanted to also incorporate that, because I feel like as a mom, it's so important to really like heal your inner child.
Yeah, oof, you're like speaking to my soul right now, because the inner child work, because I know like prior to even getting married, I was doing a lot of like self work, self love, self healing. And it wasn't until I became a mom that like that kind of went out the window, and like the universe is like, oh, you're gonna learn today, and
Yeah.
still learning, obviously. And I know it's like a forever thing. But that inner child, oh man, gets so triggered from, I mean, it's gotten much better because I've gotten to the point of understanding those triggers more.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was really hard. It was so hard. So what's something that you think you can like offer moms who who feel lost in this process, in this journey? Like, can you give me an example of something that they can do to heal, or do some like self-work, at least like a starting point?
Yeah, therapy, like, therapy is just amazing, especially when you find the right therapist, because it's so hard to like, and I don't know if this happened to you, but I have great friends and great support around me, but I feel like I never want to bother anyone.
Yeah.
And then I feel guilty because I'm like, I'm always with my kid and they don't have kids yet. So they're like going out and doing things. So I feel like when they call me to vent, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I love you. And
Yeah.
I don't like vent because I'm like, okay, I just want to be here and I can't bond with you in the other way. So let me like be that space for you.
Mhm.
Um, so I Therapy has like been for me like a very safe space for me to vent and like work things out without feeling like I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or I don't want to take up their time, or I don't want to inconvenience them, which it's not true. I know it's not, but that's just how like I feel about it. So therapy for me has been a really great like tool to help me process and to understand myself better. That's one thing that I would definitely recommend. And if you're not comfortable or at the stage of therapy yet, I also recommend going on walks by yourself with no kids and just asking your partner or whoever your support is to like watch the kids for an hour and just do that a couple times a week, and just like being with your own thoughts, because like kids consume so much like of I feel like the sound in in
Oh
your
my
day, where
gosh,
it's like
yes.
whining, asking for questions, telling you a story, like it's just constant sound, like noise. So
Yes.
just being alone with your own thoughts without them being interrupted,
Mhm.
like I feel like can restore a person like sanity and energy and help them process and heal too.
Yes, yes, that's great advice. Because I know that some people might not, like you said, be at that point of feeling comfortable enough to go to therapy, especially in different cultures. Like a lot
Yeah.
of times it's like, just pray it away, like you're
Yeah.
not praying hard enough, and it's like, but I pray and cry every night, still not working. So
Yeah.
I think I know that I've tried therapy too. I went actually when I was like grieving my dad in the beginning, and it was helpful for when I went, and I stopped going, probably because I was just like, she's peeling away too many layers.
She's in there.
So I was like, I'm gonna just like hold this in for now. And then, obviously I did some work with you, and obviously gonna definitely continue doing that as well, because that for sure helped. And journaling for me has always been a big thing too.
Yes.
Because you could at least like talk whatever shit you want to talk on paper too, and not feel guilty
Yeah.
about it. Sometimes
Yeah,
it
for
happens,
sure.
we're human.
Yes, yeah, journaling. That's a big one. And I even tell like in my sessions, like, I'll like tell people to journal and you could just scribble, and it doesn't have to be actual
Yeah.
words if you're nervous that someone will find it. But just like processing and like finishing a whole thought and allowing that space, I feel like can be so healing. And like culturally, I like that's so important, like such a big piece, because like I don't know for you, but I know like I'm Colombian, and I remember being like a teenager and being like, Mom, I want to go to therapy. And she was like, like, no estás loca, like you're not crazy. And I'm like,
Yep.
maybe I am, bitch. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Little does she
but
know, fast forward
yeah,
10 years later, no.
little does she know I'm talking to dead people.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. But listen, that in itself is healing, right?
Yeah.
I for
So
sure.
there's like a lot of pressure to like, or I don't know if the word is pressure, but stigma around therapy and getting help. But, I think if you want to heal, you have to be vulnerable, and there's no way around that.
Yes, absolutely. That's great advice, because I know I'm Puerto Rican, so we grew up very similar scenario, and then my husband's Colombian, so I'm surrounded by y'all,
Mhm.
and his family is very much the same way. Like, although his mom is spiritual, so she gets it, but you know, when you talk about it too, it's like, ugh, it's a touchy subject to talk about therapy, because you do think that it's something like you're being crazy. But I think that's another thing that we need to like destigmatize is mental health, and that sometimes it's okay to be crazy. Like, we live in a crazy world, you know, we need the help to process things. So
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with having mental health issues. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's definitely some stellar advice. All right. So another question I have. So at the moment, I know we had our call a couple of weeks ago and you were offering packages for energy healing. Are you currently doing any promotions or planning on doing anything in the future?
No, I don't have any. No, right now I just have my healing sessions that I offer, and eventually I'll probably offer like intuitive development classes, which I used to teach pre-pandemic
Mhm.
um, because they were in person, and then it's taken me like a while to um, like figure out how to put it online and offer it that way. So eventually I'll work my way there, but for now it's just the healing sessions.
Alrighty. Well, I do know that if anyone wants to find you, they can find you on Instagram at Intuited by Scarlett. I'm definitely going to add that in our description so we can direct people to your page and they can reach out to you to sign up for that, because I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I have other friends too who have worked with you, and they like called me like ranting and raving and crying and, you know,
Aw.
loving the experience. So I highly recommend it. Um, and I guess like to finish it up, I would ask you what's some advice that you can offer mamas? And this could be anything that you feel you would like to share. It doesn't have to be specific. It could just be like general, something you learned through this journey of motherhood.
Um, hmm. So what comes to mind is like since is being aware of your own energy and your child's energy. So when you're pregnant, you're like, they're within your energy, like literally your whole energy field is holding your baby.
Yes.
And then when they come out, they're like almost there is an energetic like umbilical cord that's connected to your child. And as they get older, that starts to like um, dissipate almost or get cut. But when they're so little, they're constantly reacting to your energy. So like I said before, therapy, taking time alone, learning how to like regulate your own um, nervous system is so important, because they're just, even if like they don't know what's happening, whether it's like you're fighting with your partner or work stuff or just like inner child things for yourself,
Mhm.
they may be picking up on it because you're still so energetically intertwined in the beginning.
Yes.
So I recommend, or like I don't know, my tip or whatever is to do your healing work or your energy work, like take the time and space because it's so important, and it'll make this journey go from survival to like living, because I feel like in the beginning everyone's just like surviving, and it's so easy to get stuck in there. And it doesn't have to be like that. Of course, there'll be like hard days because it's, parenting is hard, but like shifting out of survival can happen with like taking time for you, doing the healing work, and noticing when your kid is just like projecting back to you what is going on within yourself. And having the tools for you gives you the ability to give them the tools. But if you're like ignoring your mental health and you're ignoring how you feel in your emotions, then you won't be able to recognize or give them the tools because you're like, everything's fine, nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, your kid is like feeling all the stuff that's going on and acting out. So if you could be like, we're feeling this together, like, let's, try massage, let's do an essential oil, let's pull a card, let's hold a crystal, let's go for a walk. So doing all that work is so important to help this like parenthood part feel so much easier.
Yeah. Oof, like preach, girl. Yes, yes. No, that's all awesome, awesome advice. And I know that like I always say, and when I do my podcast as well, that whatever resonates, let it resonate, take what you need. And I feel
Yeah.
that this whole conversation was amazing. I know for myself. So I know that other mamas are definitely appreciating it. And I appreciate your time and thank you so much for joining me on today's call. And
Thank
I
you
look
so much for
forward
having
to more
me.
healing with you and more laughs.
Aw, yes, it's always so fun.
Yes.
I wasn't sure how ratchet we were gonna get on here.
I know, I know. We have to keep it a little professional, a little professional.
Okay, okay.
It's not like our, back in the day where Like, take a shot and walk away. Also, I'm pregnant right now, so that wouldn't
Okay,
be
oh
me.
yeah, yeah. All right, whatever, fine.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna catch up when I come visit you this summer.
Yes. Okay. Wait.
It was so nice talking to you, and I will keep you updated on everything. And I'm gonna add your info when I do my little blog post. And I look forward to continuing our journey together too.
Yes, thank you. Me too.
Bye, Mama.
Bye. Did I press leave? Yeah.
Yeah.